Dear students, myself Dr. Fatima Sultana, Associate Professor in Department of Zoology, JDB Government Girls College, Kota. Today I am going to take your topic Keystone Species. What are keystone species? A species whose presence and role within an ecosystem has a disproportionate effect on other organisms within the system is a keystone species. As I have told you, a species which has a large and disproportionate impact on its ecosystem relative to its abundance is called a keystone species. The term was first coined by zoologist Robert Peary in the 1960s. While studying marine invertebrates in the intertidal zone, he observed that starfish had a disproportionate impact on their ecosystem. If this animal were taken out of the equation, half the other species would vanish, hence making the starfish the keystone species of that ecosystem. What is the keystone species? It is a species which has a large and disproportionate impact, that is, unproportional impact on its ecosystem relative to its abundance. As Parry has mentioned or first coined this term, keystone species in 1960s, he was studying on marine invertebrates. He was actually studying on this example, that is the starfish, and this is the keystone species in the rocky marine intertidal communities of the northwest coast of North America. This predatory starfish feeds on the mussel, Mytilus mussel. You all know that you have seen similar to that mussel, Mytilus californiensis, and is responsible for maintaining much of the local diversity of species within certain communities. So what this starfish was doing, it was actually preying on the Mytilus, and it was controlling the population of that Mytilus. Now, if starfish was removed from the coast of North America, then what happened? That the mussel population was increased. So the overpopulated mussel will cover the rocky intertidal shores, which will disturb the other species to grow. So what it is doing, the starfish, it is controlling the population of mussel. Otherwise, what would happen? The mussel, it would cover the rocky intertidal shores completely and disturbing the growth of other species. So this starfish is the keystone species of that area. Keystone species vary from habitat and ecosystem, and a keystone species in one habitat may not be a keystone species in another, because we are talking about the ecosystem of a particular area where any species which is controlling disproportionately that habitat will be the keystone species of that area, but not necessary that it will be the keystone species of other area also. Now the time period to establish a species is as a keystone species is a challenge as well. Why? Because terrestrial ecosystems respond slower, and it may take a long time before the ripple effects of losing a top predator is seen through an ecosystem, establishing it as a keystone species. Why I am telling you this? That where in a terrestrial ecosystem, what happens, that the effect of the keystone species will respond a little slower, and it will take years also before understanding that this is the keystone species which is controlling the habitat of that area. For example, this kangaroo rat actually helps the area to control from spreading, the weeds to spread, the grass to spread. So, in a way, it is controlling that habitat. But the scientists, the research scholars who were doing work on this area, it took more than 10 years to understand the habit of this kangaroo rat. That what actually it is doing. It is helping to control the habitat of that ecosystem. The project funds were also finished, but still they continued to understand the habit of this kangaroo rat. So what I am telling that it the terrestrial ecosystem responds slower, and it may take a longer time. Now, another important factor is human destruction. As a consequence of the loss of biodiversity, the remaining species substitute as keystone species. As I am telling, that human also acts as a disturbing factor. How that, for example, because of the destruction, human destruction, the birds are reducing in number, or we can say the butterflies are reducing in number. So what happened? The work what these were doing, butterflies were helping in pollination. Now that pollination factor will be taken up by bats. So now the bats are the only organism which are helping in pollination. So as a consequence of the loss of biodiversity, the remaining species substitute as keystone species. The functional role of keystone species is considered by way of example. The focus is on termites, beavers, and kangaroo rat. As I have already explained, what was the role of kangaroo rat? It was helping in engineering that ecosystem. So, while many animal species are acting as ecosystem engineers, the term ecosystem in its proper sense should be restricted to cases where ecosystem stability, structure, function, and dynamics are determined by only one species. So, in that particular area, as I have told about the kangaroo rats, it was helping the habitat by overgrowth of the weeds and grass. It was controlling that. So it was engineering that ecosystem. So the ecosystem keystone species, in its proper sense, what it is doing that it is maintaining the stability, structure, function, and dynamics of that area. The decline or extinction of a keystone species will be followed by fundamental changes of its habitat and biosensors. Related animal species influencing their habitats in a combined action have been called a keystone species. A species whose presence and role within an ecosystem has a disproportionate effect on other organisms within the system. A keystone species have been often a dominant predator whose removal allows a prey population to explode and often decreases overall diversity. Other kinds of keystone species are those such as coral or beavers that significantly alter the habitat around them and thus affect large number of other organisms. Now the beavers. Maybe you all may be knowing what is the habit of beavers. They cut the trees, the branches which are falling down, and they make bridges. This is like man-made bridges, beaver bridges. These are known as beaver dams also. So they are actually using the forest twigs, branches, and giving a way for the forest to rejuvenate. And while making this beaver dam, they are diverting the water of the river. So they are controlling and maintaining water conservation. They are helping in water conservation also. Every ecosystem has certain species that are critical to the survival of other species in the system. The keystone species could be the keystone species could be a huge predator or an unassuming plant, but without them the ecosystem may not survive. So what is the role of a keystone species? It maintains the ecosystem of that particular area. In one or the other way, it is helping to maintain the ecosystem of that area. Now, this keystone species could be a huge predator or an unassuming plant. So, it is actually we have to identify that what the animal or what the plant is doing to help that ecosystem to be maintained. So, in any arrangement or community, the keystone is considered one of the most vital parts. Now, for example, in marine ecosystem or any type of ecosystem, a keystone species is an organism that helps hold the system together. For example, we are making an arch with number of stones. Now the topmost stone, if you remove that, what happens? The arch will fall down. So the keystone species is also playing the same very role. It is that stone which will be, if removed, the whole arch will fall down. So keystone species is that species which is actually holding the whole of the ecosystem. Without its keystone species, ecosystem would look very different. Some ecosystems might not be able to adapt to environmental changes if their keystone species disappear. They are helping in such a way and to the height that some ecosystems they cannot adapt to environmental changes also if that ecosystem species is disappeared. So that could spell the end of the ecosystem, or it could allow an invasive species to take over and dramatically shift the ecosystem in a new direction. What happens that if the keystone species is removed or disappeared from that ecosystem, invasive species can take over and they can dramatically shift the ecosystem in a new direction. There are three types of keystone species cited by many scientists: predators, ecosystem engineers, and mutualistic. Predators help the populations of prey species, which in turn affects the quantity of plants and animals further along the food web. As I have told, keystone species may be a huge predator also. So, in this, predators help control the population of prey species, which in turn affects the quantity of plants and animals further along the food web. For example, sharks, tiger sharks, they often prey upon old or sick fish, leaving healthier animals to flourish. The sharks they generally feed on the old or sick fish, leaving the healthier animals so that they can flourish. Now, simply by their presence near seagrass beds, sharks are able to keep smaller animals from overgrazing and wiping out the grass. What they are doing? Simply the presence of that shark near the seagrass, it is indirectly controlling the smaller animals. How? If that species would have been absent over there, the smaller animals would continue overgrazing and wiping out the grass. So, the scientists in Australia observed that when tiger sharks were not near the grass beds, sea turtles, sea turtles are actually the prey of these tiger sharks. They are the favorite prey of the tiger sharks. Now, if tiger sharks were absent over there, what would have happened? These sea turtles would have decimated them. That is, the seagrass would have been destructed by overgrazing. But when tiger sharks patrolled the grass beds, the sea turtles were forced to graze across a much wider region. So, what they are doing, the tiger sharks, they are controlling that ecosystem. The seabed, the grassy grass beds are maintained because they are controlling the population of the turtles. Otherwise, the turtles would have overgrazed and destructed that seagrass beds. Now, ecosystem engineers. A ecosystem species helps define an entire ecosystem. Without its keystone species, the ecosystem would be dramatically different or cease to exist altogether. Now, what these ecosystem engineers do? They modify, create, and maintain habitats. For example, the prairie dogs. What they do? They keep on digging and making tunnels. The network tunnels that made by prairie dogs towns provide burrows for other animals, channel for rainwater, and increase aeration in the soil. Now, the habit of this prairie dog is that it makes tunnels. But in return, what this is helping the ecosystem over that area, it is giving, providing burrows for other animals and channel for rainwater to flow in the ground, to seep inside the ground level, and it is also increasing the aeration in the soil. So they help engineer the entire prairie ecosystem. So what they are doing, they are engineering or controlling, maintaining the habitat of that grassland ecosystem. Next example of this ecosystem engineers is of beaver. Beavers, what they are doing, the river ecosystems rely on beavers to take down old or dead trees along river banks to use for their dams. They have the habit of making dams. They cut the trees, branches, or use the dead trees and they make the dams. This allows new, healthier trees to grow in abundance. The dams divert water in rivers, creating wetlands that allow a variety of animals and plants to thrive. Now, in this photo, you can see the beaver dam. The beaver, they are using the trees, they are cutting the trees. So, in one way, they are making the trees healthier, or they are allowing new trees to grow and healthier trees to grow in abundance. Now, the wood what they are using to make the dams is helping to divert water in the rivers, creating wetlands. And we all know that wetland has a very good number of animals, variety of animals, diversity of animals and plants which thrive on the wetland ecosystem. So they are controlling and they are engineering that ecosystem. Mutualistic, what is it? We all know what is mutualism. That which benefits other and does not harms the other. It is benefit to both the species. So when two or more species in an ecosystem interact for each other's benefit, they are called mutualist. Now bees are a primary example of this. What are the bees? Honeybees. They take nectar from the flowers, they collect pollen and spread it from one flower to the next, enhancing the odds of fertilization and greater flower growth. Nectar and pollen are also primary food sources for the bees themselves. So, what we are saying, bees, they are collecting nectar from the flowers. While doing so, they are collecting the pollen and spreading it. So, they are helping in pollination and therefore they are enhancing the odds of the fertilization and greater flower growth. And in return, they are getting nectar and pollen, which is the food source for the bees themselves. So, this is called as mutualist. Now, some scientists identify other categories of keystone species. For example, the alternate is the predator, herbivore, and mutualist. We had discussed about predators, ecosystem engineers, and mutualists. Some scientists they have given alternate list which includes predators, herbivores, and mutualists, and another is predator, mutualist, and competitors for resources. Now, in India, we have many keystone species. For example, in Kanhas National Park, the keystone species is Bengal tiger, and the jewel of uh, this area is Barasinga. So, Barasinga is favorite food of tiger. The tiger is controlling the population of Barasinga, and in turn, the Barasinga they are not overgrazing. So, the grass and the vegetation over that area is controlled. Another keystone species is Asiatic lion. Asiatic lion, they are found in the Gir forest of Gujarat. According to IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, they have been given the category of endangered. that is, they are threatened to be extinct. And according to Wildlife Protection Act, they are kept in Schedule 1. Sites in sites they have been mentioned in Appendix 1. And what is the habitat of this animal? It is Gir Forest of Gujarat. So Gir Protected Area Network that includes Gir Park, Gir Sanctuary, Panya Sanctuary. They are the adjoining forest reserves, protected forest and unclassed forest. The forest of that area is being controlled by this Asiatic lion. But what we see that the Asiatic lion, they are only present in that particular area, that is Gir forest of Gujarat. So it has been seen that these lions were dying due to viral diseases. So a project was launched in December 2018. And what was the aim of this project? The aim was to protect and conserve the world's last ranging free population of Asiatic lion and its associated ecosystem. The Asiatic lion, the population is only present in this particular area, nowhere else they are found. So it has to be conserved. Therefore, Asiatic Lion Conservation Project has been launched to look after the problems, the threats of this area. Another example is Nilgiri Thar. Nilgiri Thar, it has been kept in endangered species in IUCN. This maintains, as I have already told you, IUCN maintains red book list. It is a red data list which maintains the data of threatened animals, endangered species. According to Wildlife Protection Act, it is kept in Schedule 1, and according to CITES, it's kept in Appendix 1. It is also the state animal of Tamil Nadu. Now, climate change threatens the Nilgiri Thar population. Again, a project was launched in July 2018 to look after the conservation of this species, because this is the keystone species which is actually ecologically engineering that area. Locally, it is also known as Nilgiri ibex, and it inhabits the montane grasslands of Western Ghats. It is endemic to that region. Endemic means that they are present only in that particular area. They avoid the Shola forest. They like to be present in the grasslands. They don't occupy the area of stunted evergreen forest. They typically avoid that particular area. Next example is lion-tailed macaca. This is again endemic to the western Ghats of South India. Today they only live in mountain forests scattered across three Indian states, that are Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now the threats are habitat fragmentation due to spread of agriculture and tea and cinchona, construction of water reservoirs and human settlements to support such activities. Fragmentation is uh, they are because of this habitat fragmentation, the lion-tailed macaca are losing their population. The population is reducing. Again, this is kept in endangered in the IUCN status and in Schedule 1 according to Wildlife Protection Act. So, what are the keystone species? A keystone is the stone at the top of an arch that supports the other stones and keep the whole arch from falling. As I had told you, for example, imagine that an arch is being built by number of stones. Now, if we remove the top stone of that arch, what we see, the whole arch will fall down. Same is the case with keystone species. It is that species which, if removed, the arch of the ecosystem will fall down. So, it is a species on which the Persistence of a large number of other species in the ecosystem depends. Now, if a keystone species is removed from a system, the species it supported will also disappear. Other dependent species will also disappear. So, examples may be top carnivores that keep prey in check, large herbivores that shape the habitat in which other species live, important plants that support particular insect species that are prey for birds, bats that disperse the seeds of plants. These are the various examples of the keystone species. Now you prepare a list of keystone species, other keystone species of India. This is a quiz given to you all. Thank you so much.